Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my United Nations of Earth playthrough. So we are just at the start of a huge war with basically everybody who's not in our alliance at this point among the regular empires. We've made a little bit of progress in conquering Ivzorak space, but the Ivzorak are pushing into Brienne space over here with the majority of their fleets, while the Brienne are moving through these gateways to basically jump over and rejoin their fleet, defending the Tezekian Hive, where other large fleets of the Ivzorak have made an appearance. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how things are going. The front over here doesn't look that bad. It looks like the push over here into these two unconnected systems to the rest of Empire decimated quite a bit of the fleets of the rest of the Garanshu, though they did pull some back here. Just not a very... the Darbalin have a few fleets over here, but I don't see a large amount of fleets from the Darbalin or the Garanshu over here. They may have used gateways to rejoin the rest of their allies where the fighting is thickest. Yeah, there is a Garanshu fleet over here in Aphidna. There's also a Garanshu fleet following the offensive over here into the League of Brienne States territory. Majority of their fleets seem to be concentrated here because of size. 65, 52, 52, 25, 66, and a 67, and a 76. So there's a major offensive going on this way, even though there's not really much defense going on this way. The fighting is happening elsewhere. But it'll be interesting to see how this progresses. My main concern is to control the L gates so they do not have a way into my systems. So if I can control the majority of Ivzorak space, they're the only ones who have L gates. If I can control the majority of that, and then start shutting down the Ivzorak fleets, and take control of these L drakes, I could probably also help assist by shutting down the United Uberic Pact, and then start pushing into, say, the Tilinesti, the Commonwealth of Man, and the Citizen State of Azuk. I'm going to leave the Garanshu and the Darbalins for the Fire Tribes of Kel to deal with mainly, because they're the ones who want to conquer territory over here. We took another outpost with no damage in the Dathlon system. Whatever the enigmatic cache's purpose here on Puerto Gonzales may have been, it has come to an end. As abruptly as it arrived, the enigmatic cache is now leaving. A shame we didn't really find out much information from them.
Research concluded.
We have completed Administrative Efficiency 9 for more monthly unity, and are now working on Transgenic Crops 10 for food from jobs. We've also completed Synchronized Firing Pattern 7 for more defense platform damage, and are now working on Thermodynamic Yield Control 4 for explosive weapon damage. And we should be able to put Vash back in here to deal with the explosive weapon damage. We took another station, again with no damage, here in the Hantaron system. So we're just going to be sweeping through this area. It looks like some Void Wings have popped up over here. I don't think they're going to be too much of an issue for us. I did hit my cap on food, and I was close on minerals, so I am selling a little bit every now and then. Basically every day I'm selling about 100 just to slowly wear that down without dropping the price too much. We did trade 5,000 food to the Urzo for 7,000 energy credits. We traded 16,000 minerals for 32,000 energy credits to the Alvathari.
Our forces are making planetfall.
And it sounds like we've already whittled down Soval enough that our troops are able to land. Oh yes, this should be a fairly quick fight. They've just got like 6 defenders.
Our station is under assault.
Oh, we have a station under assault. Where? Ah, that little fleet that popped up in Tau Cygni is moving back through areas that we have already taken. I don't think they're going to perform too well against this little station, since that is such a small fleet. We gained a favor with the League of Brian States. We've taken another outpost in the Porabim system. Yeah, we're basically just going to be sweeping through these outposts. We've got one more, and let's actually divert 4th Fleet to chase down this little fleet. It'll take about 2 months for it to catch up to them. Gained 28,000 energy credits from the Visari for 5,000 minerals and 6,000 food. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sell another 10,000 minerals at that price, just to avoid having to click on that multiple times as it goes along. They are actually performing fairly well against the outpost. What weapons are they using? Disruptors. Yeah, they have plasma cannons, autocannons, and disruptors. They've actually gotten through the shields already and are working on the armor. My fleet should be getting there shortly. Yeah, they had already headed over to the Honteron system, so they've got to double back. And we just took out the Nagiro system with no damage. So we have controlled that entire section. Let's see how their push is going over here. Yeah, they're spreading out a little bit, and it looks like these fleets have doubled back. Yeah, they are moving to the Zarkon system. So they do have fleets coming in as reinforcements. A huge amount of fleets coming in as reinforcements to push out the Ivzorak from here. Tezekian Hive space is also getting a bit of a push. They basically pulled their fleets from here to go back there. And they're also making a push into Garanshu territory. The Fire Tribes of Kel are over here. And it looks like small sections of the Commonwealth of Man are also being controlled over here. Actually, large sections of the Commonwealth of Man appear to have been controlled. Yeah, there's been a pretty big push in the Commonwealth of Man space. 105 pulls of the lever, and only 1 minor artifact. We're now at 84. 16 more to go. That does remind me, though, in the last dev blog about the upcoming story pack, First Contact, they showed that they will be revamping the way minor artifacts are handled a little bit. Now they are a acquirable resource monthly. So when you finish an excavation site, for example, it adds a resource node to that planet of minor artifacts. So you will constantly get a trickle of minor artifacts. You can trade to other empires for the minor artifacts. And there are more uses for minor artifacts, such as a new archaeotechnological line that can add ship and starbase components as well as buildings. But yeah, they're going to make minor artifacts a little bit more easy to acquire, but the cost of everything is going to go up. For example, right now you can sell one minor artifact to private collectors for energy credits. That's changing to where it's 25. The Celebrate Diversity and museum exhibits have gone up to like 50. I believe the reverse engineering and all of this were 250. But you will be getting a steady trickle of them, so that's okay. That probably means it also is going to take more than 100 for the final stage of the art installation. But since you have a steady income of them, or can get a steady income of them, that should not be too much of an issue.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
Alright, we took Vaiku's Haunt, so it's now time to move all of these ships over to Peru's Roost. Actually, do I need to bombard this planet? Well, there's only 2 garrisons on it. We have actually started damaging these destroyers. They do have our armor down a little bit and are doing... well, they've been doing direct hull damage because of the disruptors anyway. But it's still holding pretty well, and our fleet is making its way here. It'll be there in about a month, so hopefully that will be before this station falls. It's about halfway down now. Caravan 4 habitat is complete and ready for colonization. I do have a colony ship present. The Hope 2. And yes, we are out of random names. Let's see, what do we have here? La Isabela, Las Veridas, San Fernando, Thenis. Yeah, let's just call this one New Mexicali. And it will be a factory world. And he is already moving to where? He's taking the hyper relay. Where is he headed? I can't remember. Oh, no, he's moving over to the hyper relay to build a gateway after I construct the gateway, and I believe I can go ahead and get started on that. I was going to add a gateway site to this system. And then after that, we are going to get an orbit of the star to build the quantum catapult. Alright, it's dropping rapidly at this point.
Our forces are making planetfall.
Citizen State of Azook declared Tezekian Hive their rival. Yeah, they only had 2 defenders. This one's going to go fairly quickly, and then we should control this system. They are rapidly tearing that down, but we are only 2 weeks away now. So I believe we are going to make it here before they defeat our station, or shortly after they have taken the station. Nope, the fleet's already engaged.
We have lost the spaceport.
They did take the spaceport, but we blew up one of their ships almost immediately. Ubart regime built a gateway.
A new world of opportunities awaits.
We destroyed all 3 of their ships, and we're about to retake this starbase. No, not move there. Retake the starbase. and then move to Tau Cygni. Now we're getting a lot more debris over here, so as our after the Asimov finishes that one, I want it to come back and scavenge that project before going to Soval to scavenge that one. Yeah, they did no damage to this fleet because we had much longer range weapons than their disruptors, and they were already pretty badly damaged. Looks like the fighting has engaged over here in the Zarkon system. Huge amount of fleets sweeping in here. Yeah, those transports are going to be completely obliterated. As a matter of fact, the majority of their actual fleets have already tried to flee. They did have a few battleships and cruisers and stuff destroyed, but a lot of their ships have already fled. The damage is much more significant to them than to our side.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
So we got 281 alloys and 2 dark matter from that. So they do have technology that uses dark matter. Either the null void beam or the... they have managed to acquire the dark matter shields or dark matter thrusters.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
Alright, we took that other one. We can move our fleet, our army, and let's actually move our the Kunlun as well. Back toward Tau Cygni. Actually, no, let's go get Patragar first. And we will actually move the fleet as well, I think. We're not going to move the immature specimen. This is just like first and second fleet. We will move them back. Right-click to deselect this fleet. There we go. We're going to move first and second along with them to bombard this system. We have a favor with the League of Themisto. The Ubaric regime built another gateway. Fourth Fleet is taking on the Orbital Ring and the Citadel. We may suffer some losses here, since Fourth Fleet did kind of go in alone, but we have severe firepower compared to them. They have already done some damage to the hull. They do have medium phase disruptors that'll shoot out to where we are. Well, we've already stripped their armor completely. It was fairly quick. We did suffer a loss of 2 ships. 1 destroyer and 1 corvette, so we will go ahead and reinforce them. And have our fleet park at this starbase for a little bit. We have a new resolution. Let's actually look at the combat stats first. Yeah, they actually did get through with their Gauss cannons and their gamma lasers. They got through our shields, our armor, and did damage to hull on some of our ships. None of their missiles ended up getting through. We have a new resolution. Repeal minor administrative sanctions. We will oppose that one as well. Our administrative sanctions are counterproductive. We should be using all diplomatic channels at our disposal to convince empires to work with the community. And as of right now, the gap is narrowing between these two. We still have a couple of years before we have to worry about influencing it. Alright, the citizen state of Azuk has broken secret fealty with us. Probably because of the war, our relations have dropped enough that they no longer consider us. The Tillinesti will probably end up breaking it, so will the Darvelins, I believe, before the war is over. Which is fine. I'm not that big into the secret fealty with United Nations of Earth. I wasn't looking for them to betray their overlords. But I would kind of like everybody to start working together again. Right before I do my maintenance, a quick look at the overall Empire thing. We only have like a 4% occupation. So there's a lot of area we have to end up occupying. We have done some pretty good fighting though. Let's check. What are these systems down here? Zarkon. Let's see if we can find Zarkon in this list. Sort it by location. They took out 76 of their ships at the battle in Zarkon. So yeah, they did quite a number to them there. Looks like they have pulled back. They're back in these systems. They might be getting ready to relocate over to another offensive. And some of these defenders have pulled back to kind of try and meet them over here, I guess, in the Tazekian Hive space. 103 pulls of the lever netted me one more minor artifact. We're now at 85, just 15 more to go. And while I was doing my Empire maintenance, I noticed nobody currently has the Manticore Defenders, and their fleet strength is almost 200k. So we're going to rent a fleet. Excellent! Recruiting a Manticore Defenders fleet is always the right choice. Our forces are amongst the best trained and most disciplined in the galaxy. And our tech is cutting edge. Yes, I know, I gave it to you. Pirates, insurgents, and any other rabble you might have recourse to deal with will soon learn to show respect. Additionally, each of our fleets comes with a battle-proven admiral at no extra charge. Adept in all facets of interstellar warfare, they will surely lead your forces to victory. It only cost me about 12.5k to hire them for 10 years. So let's go ahead and do that. And we can share our technology with them again, which will give us 1,000 energy credits back. So we've got them up to our standards again. We are going to go ahead and take this Manticore Defenders fleet. It's now listed as 232k. This is, well, up here it only says 205, but the overall with the Admiral bonus makes it 232. Their Admiral is pretty good. They've got 15 battleships out of 4. Yeah, they actually do have one more slot for a fleet. It's interesting, their command limit usage is exceeded right now. Because my fleet command limit isn't that large. If I look at mine are capped at like 200, I think. Or close to 200, 210, yeah. So they have a command limit of like 489. They're only using it, 200 of it, I think. No, they're using the whole 489. 200 is what they're supposed to be at. But they are greatly exceeding their command limit. That's the reason their fleet is so massive. But we're going to send them over to here. They'll be there in 3 months. And after they get here, we're going to have them push forward this way to cut and see if they can't intercept these large fleets when they're trying to pull back. Let's see. Zach Plot Vestige has declared war on the Awoken. And we now have to set a war goal. Now we could do Humiliate, but I actually want to end up wiping them out. So what would it take to claim this sector? 24 more, so 2 months I will have the cost to do that. Now, change of plans with the Manticores. Since they just declared war on us and we have this humongous Manticore fleet, we are going to send them to deal with the Zac plot real quick. So we will send them there to push in and wipe out the Zac plot Vestiges fleet so that the Zac plot Vestige does not go through our territory and take any of the Awokens. We're also going to mobilize our immature specimens back here and the Ahab. Alright, so we got our 4 immature specimens in the Ahab we will also send here. Actually, we will send them here. Well, no, they'd have to reroute that way anyway, so yeah, we'll send them there. And they will meet up with this Manticore fleet and make short work of the Zac plot Vestige. I need 2 months, the war to last at least 2 months, so I can make a claim on one of their remaining systems. What would it cost to claim this one? Oh, we only need 1 month to claim this system. And then we'd need another 125 to claim the next one, which would take us about 8 months. Yeah, this system was 120. Oh, 120, not 125. And this system was 100. Yes. So yeah, we'll claim Tau Ceti first, because we can do that before, as soon as the month clicks over, and the war won't be over by then. We'll be able to declare the war goal after we've done our
The special project has concluded.
Alright, so we tamed the Eldrake over here. And let's actually send this science ship up to deal with that one. This science ship is going to get that one, and once it completes that one, we'll get the one in Tau Cygni. We will send this Eldrake up here. It says it's going to take 4 months to go that distance. So these things are fairly slow, it appears. As soon as it gets over there, we will send them on to push up to get to where this Eldrake is, so our science ships can come up here and tame the third one. Wait a minute. They have jump drives? The immature specimens have jump drives? Interesting. Alright, we've clicked over a month, so we are going to claim Tau Ceti. Now we can set our war goal to conquer. We have another proposal. Ensured sovereignty. The galactic community will put into motion directives to ensure the sovereignty of its members, particularly those who have previously had their integrity breached by other empires. Will disallow integration permitted and expansion prohibited. And this boosts empire size. I'm going to abstain from this one right now to keep it low. I do like this one, I think, when it gets up to a voice for all, because it improves Bulwark, Scalaria, and Prospectoria. However, it does cut out expansion regulated and limited diplomacy. I don't mind it cutting out limited diplomacy. So yeah, I do kind of like this one, even though it boosts empire size. Though I am supporting repealing the precursor just to get rid of the empire size. It takes a while to get this one all the way up. But yeah, the top level is actually pretty good, but I don't like the other modifiers. It giving me more empire size from systems and planets. I'm already at a pretty big empire size anyway. So I'm just going to abstain from that one. If it passes, it passes. That's not one I'm going to really do a lot of effort to prevent. Alright, their fleet is headed somewhere, probably to the Awoken space, to try and reclaim their areas. Hopefully my fleet will arrive first. Well, I already see like an immature specimen over here in the Ahab. I'm not sure they're a match for this. The immature specimens are about 25k, I think. So the two together would be about 50, but they don't have the firepower of an equivalent fleet. And of course the Ahab is only about 5k. Hopefully my other ships and the Manticore Defenders will get over here fairly quickly. Speaking of the Manticore Defenders, where are they currently? Yeah, they're 2 months out. So hopefully they will make it there before the Zakplot Vestige can enter our space. Fourth Fleet has finally fully repaired, so it can go to bombarding the planet. League of Phemisto has started building a science nexus. And the Ubert regime has built another gateway. I already knew they were building a science nexus, they just finally finished the first stage. How close are they? They're getting very close. The Ahab has made it. The Manticore Defenders are still about a month away. Tezekian Hive has declared Commonwealth of Man their rival. The two immature specimens have made it, or two of the immature specimens. Now, they have just entered space here with the Ahab and the two immature specimens. Of course, there is a starbase here, but that's a fairly weak starbase. Yeah, it's only about 16k. And of course, they do have an orbital ring as well. So they might have a little bit of firepower to last until the Manticore Defenders show up. The Manticore Defenders are going to wipe the floor with these guys. 62 pulls of the lever netted me nothing. It appears that they are still pushing forward a little bit here to try and oust the Ivzorak. The Ivzorak haven't really started headed back my way. They've got a pirate fleet now, as a matter of fact, there. There's still some squabbling going on over territory here in the Commonwealth of Man. And it appears they have not pushed forward on the offensive. They must be sitting here repairing. They are consolidating up here, presumably to bombard the planet so that they can capture it, since they don't fully control this system yet. They do have troop transports there. So they're going to be sitting right there for a while the Tezekian Hive repairs, and then eventually comes up here to push them out. Well, they do have a fairly large fleet right there that probably is headed to Epheidna. I could find out fairly easily. They are my allies. Let's see, they're all following. That one just says moving. No, it doesn't tell me where they're going. Down here, they really haven't moved from this system. They must be repairing before they proceed more with the offensive. And they are apparently have bombarded that planet and are attempting to move their troops over here to conquer it. But we were going to watch this. We're still about a month out from the 28 days before the Manticore Defenders arrive. Combat is not quite engaged yet. But I have a bad feeling the Ahab is going to get one-shotted. Because the Manticore Defenders did make it in.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
And combat is engaged. But let me check these other pop-ups real quick. We got 138 alloy and 1 dark matter in Eurelian. So now I can tell this guy to scavenge that project. And we got 3,000 energy credits for 3,000 food from the Urzo. Not a lot were interested in my food or minerals, so I ended up selling about 300,000 or 30,000 of each on the market. Oh, they've already lost half their armor on one of their Glory class there.
Engaging hostile forces. Fleet lost.
Yep. Admiral Reth Undal died. The Ahab was destroyed. It was kind of weak. He did some damage to their armor before he died with his plasma cannons. But Reth Undal is gone. 2410. He would have died of old age pretty soon anyway, I think. Visari gave us 12,000 energy for 3,000 minerals and 3,000 food. Yeah, I should have had him follow the Drakes, honestly, because he was so much faster. Him rushing in there was kind of a mistake. But, I mean, at this point in the game, his ship is not really that useful since I can't combine it with other fleets. Now, that does mean I now have a faction that is going to be without a leader for a little bit. Or, actually, no, it's actually already been replaced. Vash. He was in the Association of Higher Learning, and now Vash is the leader of that one. But the Manticore Defenders should be engaging soon, and then this fleet will be utterly obliterated.
Engaging hostile forces.
We took out one of their escorts with one of our Eldrakes. They did some damage to the Eldrake. Yeah, they did 8,000 total damage to its hull. Let me see if I can select that Eldrake. I only see one Eldrake right now. Is the other one at the bottom? There we are. I don't see the damage on them. Yeah, I don't see the damage on the Eldrakes. Did I lose an Eldrake? It doesn't say I lost an Eldrake. Or is that Eldrake not engaged in combat anymore? Oh, it fled. It didn't die, but it fled. So it will return later. That's what happened. Okay, they ran away after getting completely annihilated. They only lost one more ship, but they were suffering heavy damage, so they decided just to flee. Manticore Defenders lost a destroyer and 2 cruisers. Now we will take the Manticore Defenders and push toward Tau Ceti. And we will tell all the Eldrakes to follow them. We also need to get a science ship over here to get that debris. Nearest science ship for us, let's take the one from Lawam, the Hubble. Actually, no, the Hubble is one we swap out for quite a bit. Since we have gateways, it really doesn't matter which one we grab. Let us grab the Kelvin. That's a scientist I won't be grabbing anytime soon. Tell him to scavenge that project. And then return to Friaka. Oh, they are moving a fleet up here. 50k fleet. I believe I am going to take 3rd and 4th up to Soval. It'll take them a month to get there, and we're basically going to hold in Soval while this guy researches the debris before we start pushing forward, just in case these defenders decide to turn around and head this way. We'll move up to Aruz when everybody has arrived and use that as a choke point so that we can start having the immature specimens head up this way. Speaking of which, the 2 immature specimens I now have, I need to set their home base close here. So we will set their home base to the Kunlun just in case they flee combat. Yeah, these guys are coming in, I think, to repair more than anything else. They were fleeing from the friendly fleets over here, retaking the territory.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
Got 25 alloys out of the one in Soval. Looks like our fleets have already made it. So let's have our military fleets push up to Aruz. And then we will have the immature specimens push up to there. And we will have this science vessel follow one of the immature specimens.
A new world has been colonized.
We have reconnected with the Visari Alliance. They must have retaken their territory. Yes. New Mexicali is now established. This is going to be a factory station. But the first thing we need to get up and running is the holo theaters. 60 pulls of the lever and no minor artifacts. I still think we are on track to have the remaining 15 within the next 4 years. While I was looking at these debris that had popped up in Tau Cygni, I noticed that they have trace components of the enigmatic decoder and the small dragon scale armor. So that means the Ivzorak has access to that technology, which was previously, well, the small dragon scale was part of the Prime Awareness. That's where we got it, so the Ivzorak probably got it from the same place. As for the enigmatic decoder, we were the only ones with that technology. However, we have been sharing our technology with Manticore defenders. Other empires have been using our mercenary fleet in battles, so through debris from the mercenary company losing ships, other empires will now have our technology, access to our technology, such as what we got from the Zakplot Vestige, the dark matter shields and thrusters and reactor, as well as the enigmatic decoder and encoder. We just took Aruz fairly quickly. Just an initial shot took it out. Now, do I want to stay here as a choke point, or do I want to try and intercept some of their fleets? They have moved over here to deal with the pirates. I could go to the Mura system. That would drop one of their star bases that are potentially churning out ships. I think I would like to push on and take all of these areas so that they don't have a place for their fleets to return to over here. Yeah, let's send 3rd and 4th to the Mura system. That will oust these Void Wings and probably end up losing them a shipyard. Manticore defenders are probably about to one-shot this station. Well, no, not quite one-shot. They don't have Titans. Well, they did it fairly quickly. They took some damage doing it. The kinetic artillery and the medium Gauss cannons did some damage to them. I think they should probably repair. So let's actually send them back to Atropatton to repair. And after they are repaired, we will have them push on forward. The other immature specimens have showed up anyway. We will have them also follow. We have connected our capital to the Commonwealth of Man. That means they have lost their capital. Let's see, what system was the Commonwealth of Man's capital? Let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. Deneb. Yeah, we just basically conquered the Deneb system. Yeah, the Visari occupied it. So now we have basically a connection back to there.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
We got 43 alloys out of that debris. And next month we should be able to claim their final colony system. Fourth and third fleet are engaged here with an orbital ring and a citadel. And this would be a good place for them to park because they'll be able to repair after the combat. This is also the system that they have their science nexus in. We took out the orbital ring fairly quickly. Still no damage to us. They're starting to hit her. Now they're hitting our hull. The Holy Gagassi Mandate has embraced the Citizen Self-Determination Organization and become more egalitarian. What has that done? Are they no longer religious? That is what I'm curious about. Because they were spiritual seekers. They are now hegemonic imperialists. They are still xenophiles, egalitarians, and militarist. So they have shifted from a religious sect to a militant one. That will cut down on the diverse ethics here a little bit as soon as the final religious member loses religion or loses spiritualism, which would be... Oh, no, there's still three. The Obha, the Polysimus, and the Ukopraknar. So yeah, there are still some fanatic spiritualists in here and some xenophobes that need to shift. We're about to lose a destroyer, I just noticed. Our Eldrake took an outpost with no damage. Yep, we did lose that destroyer. That science ship is running for the gateway. Did not make it. We lost 2 destroyers and a corvette in that. We took out their science ship and conquered both of those things. Their actual fleet must have already fled. So we will have these 2 orbit the starbase so that they can get some repairs going and go ahead and reinforce them. It looks like they're being built at Elon. The Science Nexus is still not considered under our control. And this... Yeah, now it's saying that this one's still showing traces of components. We have those 2 components. I don't know why it's showing them up when the others say components we have already researched. We do have both of those components. Unless there's been some bug. But yeah, let's look at our designs. Yeah, there's the enigmatic decoder on one of our ships right there. And dragon scale armor. Let's actually divert this science ship to scavenge that project. And by then, these immature specimens will have pushed up to there. After they get that, we will send them down to Abavast. And then up here. And then push back to Gaping Maw and see how well they handle an actual station. By then, I probably will have the 3rd one. 40 pulls of the lever and nothing. We have a new resolution. Repeal administrative insight. Our focus on eliminating bureaucratic red tape, while successful, has caused several member states to complain that their sovereignty has been compromised. They are now proposing a mandate to restore some of that lost independence. That is just reducing, that is boosting ethics towards the Overlord's fanatic ethics and reducing monthly loyalty. As this one goes up, you'll lose independent censors and independent diplomacy. While I do like the boost to my ethics, because my fanatic ethic is egalitarian, I'm going to abstain from this one. I don't really need the monthly loyalty. I don't want it to go all the way up because I don't want them to lose independent diplomacy. So I don't really care. I'm going to keep this one where it is, basically, and not worry about it so much. If it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Tezekian Hive has declared the Ivzorak their rival. Our immature specimens are going after another outpost. That'll be fairly quick. No damage from them. Their dragon's breath basically obliterated the outpost. They're pretty good at taking outposts. I don't know how well they'll be at handling the Citadel. I'm curious about that. Since we have enough influence, there is a habitat that needs an upgrade. This one right here, the New Birmingham. We will go ahead and start an upgrade on it, because it will take 2 years. That way I will be able to add the housing building, which is the next building it needs.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
We got another 25 alloys from the debris in Tau Cygni. There should be 1 debris left there. No, it's done. So this one we will have head to that system. 3rd and 4th are fully repaired. They have moved a fairly large fleet there. So let's see about 3rd and 4th intercepting them. Oh no, 4th fleet hasn't finished repairing. 3rd fleet has. Manticore Defenders was the other one that finished repairing. So we can send the Manticore Defenders now on to Tau Ceti now that they are at full strength again. Now 4th fleet is fully repaired, so we will send these 2 fleets to see about intercepting. Wait a minute, why did that say I couldn't enter that system? It says no route. Is the oh, there's an FTL inhibitor on the planet. So yeah, we've got to pretty much bombard this whichever planet it is that has the FTL inhibitor. It's not Opaki Roost. It doesn't even have a military base. So it must be this one. Yes, it's got a fortress. That habitat is what is preventing us. Yeah, and I can see the icon now. So let us bombard the crap out of that habitat. Oh, they have a humongous fleet coming up this way. We might be in trouble. Looks like they're going to try and push us out of their territory. So we've got to keep an eye on that, because our fleets are kind of spread out. If it starts headed this way, we may have to abandon scavenging these projects and pull out. We need to keep an eye on them. And they are headed to Murrah. So we are going to pull out of Murrah. The trade wind's going to have to abandon that. Let's pull back to Tau Cygni. Actually, no, we're closer. Let's pull up to here. And we will have this guy pretty much remain back here. We'll pull him back, keep him in Tau Cygni. We'll actually have them work on this habitat. Alright, this immature specimen is back. Let's tell it to follow the Manticore Defenders. We actually need to get the Manticore Defenders up here to the big war, but I would like to get this one over with fairly quickly. Yeah, this is going to get ugly if we don't get Defenders up here. I think we might have these fleets take point to get these guys to come back and meet up with us so we can engage their fleet. But I kind of like the idea of my allies hitting on their own fronts. Garanshu does have a fleet over here. They have a small fleet over here compared to this huge fleet right here. It looks like they pulled back most of the Tilinesti has moved most of their fleets over here trying to chase us down. Commonwealth of Man is still a little spread out. There's some Zorak over there. There should be a lot of engagement going on over here. Yeah, they have quite a few fleets over here. Let's see how the Garanju are doing down here. Yeah, they still haven't moved, really, down here. They're just kind of parked there. I guess they're still repairing. Commonwealth of Man is suffering losses pretty badly. Most of their systems are occupied at this point. And actually, cancel your current order. You need to get out of there. Our capital is connected to the no longer connected to the Zekian Hive. They have lost their capital system. Yeah, they're suffering some pretty bad losses over here. I'm not sure where the majority of our fleet has danced around to. There's some over here. The Sonderthans. They may not even be engaged in the war. They may not have... They're no longer a member of the Federation, honestly. Yeah, even though they're showing as blue as an ally, they are actually not involved in the war. They are diverting. I wonder what made them divert. Was it my fleets pulling out, that they were no longer set to bombard, or my science vessel pulling out that did that? Are they headed to their gateway? No. They're headed to the star base. Yeah, again, with no damage, they took out that star base. We're no longer connected with the League of Brian States. How did they lose? Oh, good lord. Yeah, the Zorak are pushing up into Brian space. So why would we lose connection when they have gateways? They could redirect from their capital to a gateway, I would believe. Oh, no. It doesn't. It's not gateways. It has to be the actual connection. So their capital is somewhere over here and has lost a direct connection to us through hyper relays, because it does not count through gateways. Only 20 pulls of the lever this time and no minor artifacts. Yeah, their fleets are maintaining right there.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
Okay, we finally had our science ship make contact with this one, so we will start the project to tame this third Eldrake over here, and that just leaves this one as unclaimed. We have completed Thermodynamic Yield Control 4 for explosive weapon damage, and are now working on Defense Platform Hull Points with Fortified Core Layers 7. So we can swap out Vash for Pash again. The Asimov is fully repaired now. It had taken some damage at some point. We can see about sneaking in here and getting, like, this one near the gateway. And keep an eye on this fleet, see if we can get that.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
We got a whole bunch of alloys, motes, and dark matter, almost 2,000 alloys for the debris back in the Atropatton system. Manticore defenders took out an outpost. They did take some damage. And they lost a destroyer. I think I will still have them push on to conquer Tau Ceti and repair there. Okay, they're pulling out. Where did they gate off to? They would have to pull back to a controlled system with a gateway. Ah, yes, they pulled back over here into Tezekian Hive space. Now they still do have a significant presence here for now. We need to keep an eye on. But once they move out of here, if we come and take this system, they can't gateway back. And we also need to get this system to cut off another gateway. So we need to watch them, and as they pull out of this system, maneuver to take it. It looks like they have withdrawn completely. So now is our opportunity to cut out their gateway. The colony ship has encountered a hostile Voidwing. How did they get over here? Oh, they came into terminal egress. They sent their fleets through the L gate. Oh boy, this is not good. They may take our colony ship. Our constructor ship also needs to evade. Now we do have fleets in this system, but I don't think we have their firepower. Yeah, they have about 250k. We have about 200k. But we also do have the another 133. So if we can get them to come back to the station, if the station can engage, then we will decimate their forces, but we will take heavy losses as well. So this is where they pulled back to, was the an L gate system that they had taken over here. I'm glad I kept some defenders back. They must have gated over near this L gate and I wasn't paying attention. Unless somebody else lost a system with an L gate that I missed. It doesn't look like I can change their stance. I think these guys were not on evasive, they were on passive. And why are you trying to retreat straight into them? The colony ship. That is not good.
We have lost a military station.
Which one? It must have been one of the defenses here. Yes, we lost 2 of them as a matter of fact. But we do have 3 ion cannons on here, so this is going to go pretty heavily in our favor, I think. For some reason, it's just showing the constructor ship. Yeah, it's only showing 1 fleet at a time. Let's go back to the outer area and see if we can select all of our fleets at once. I don't think that's all of our fleets. Yeah, that's just 1 fleet. It's just comparing the fleet strength of 1 fleet versus them. We have lost connection to the Sondrathan through hyper relays. We've gained a favor with the Urzo. And I wish I could tell this guy not to retreat and just go into passive mode, because he is charging straight into the battle. Commonwealth of Man completed a sentry array. Oh, the Racket are back. What can they offer us? No, they will give us 2,000 alloys for 55 rare crystals. No, I need rare crystals more than I need alloys. Not interested. Move along. The Immature Drake and Manticore Defenders have taken that Citadel and chased out the constructor ship. Now they're going to sit here and repair. their little fleet has moved up here. And we have some Manticore Defender reinforcements already en route. Looks like our fleets have fled. Oh my. All of our fleets are gone. Heavy losses. Our torpedoes, our amoeba flagella, and our advanced strike craft and our whirlwind missiles we're getting through were any of theirs. No. We shot down all of their strike craft. None of their strike craft got through to do any damage to us. And we did a lot less to them than they did to us. They did a significant impact to us. I don't know that we have weakened them enough that the... Oh, and let me see. No, they don't list the colony ship. I'm not sure where it disappeared to, because it's no longer showing it here. I'm not sure that the terminal egress has enough firepower left to handle these guys. Well, it's showing, yes, it is showing that it is significantly stronger, but that's only comparing it to like one of their fleets, I think. So overall, I think this is going to be an ugly fight. If we get lucky and can get a couple of their fleets knocked out, we might be able to hold this station. In the meantime, I think it might be a good idea to bring my immature specimens this way instead of having them following the Manticore defenders. Could also move first and second back through a nearby L gate. They're not too far from an L gate. Right now they were just in orbit of, they're not even bombarding, they're just in orbit of the habitat there. But yeah, 5th and 6th Fleet both ended up fleeing. They'll be gone for about 2 months. The Admirals leveled up for them. And it looks like we lost the colony ship. I'm not seeing it anymore. This constructor is almost done with the habitat. That's the reason it's not fleeing. It was busy building the habitat. So we are going to need a new colony ship, I believe. Because they are not listed as missing in action. We did severely knock down their fleet power quite a bit. Let's see, we have connected back to the League of Brian States and the Sonderthan. And that was devastating, them sending their fleets to the L gate, which was what I was trying to avoid. And I'm glad I did leave fleets there. I need to get these immature specimens up to control these other L gates to prevent them from doing that again. I only got 20 pulls of the lever this cycle and did not get any minor artifacts. I can wait until next cycle to see about offloading some minerals, and I was able to shift click and select all of their fleets to compare the fleet strength. We're fairly evenly matched right now, and their ships are weaker, so I will be cutting out their firepower fairly easily compared to them cutting out mine. My defense platform hulls do have some pretty good boosts from technology. As a matter of fact, there is a repeatable that gives damage increase for defense platforms, which ends up stacking with the damage increase for specific weapon types. So they end up, like, it's doing double damage being a defense platform anyway, on top of all the bonuses it's getting to the weapons. So yes, they get pretty devastating as the game progresses. The defense platforms can be pretty good. So I'm hoping we will be able to knock out a significant amount of their fleet power, especially with our ion cannons. The Susquehanna has completed something. No, it's just been drawn into the fight. Yeah, we are losing a lot of our defense platforms. It looks like we have lost all of our fighter craft. The Eldrakes took another outpost with no damage. The Darblins have broken their migration treaty with us. Our Eldrakes are making it into the system.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
Sounds like our Eldrakes have just engaged. We got 10 alloys from that first debris for the science ship in the Mura system.
We have lost a construction ship.
Alright, they took out our constructor. Did it finish? It did not finish before it got obliterated. So that was a waste of resources working on that station. So the Susquehanna is now gone. Our capital is no longer connected with Brienne and Sondrathan again. Third Fleet took out that citadel with no losses. They did suffer some damage, though. We are going to have third and fourth enter orbit of the station and hold here. We now control this gateway to stop them from being able to jump back over here. This Eldrake is considered equivalent to that 24K fleet. So yeah, even though he's down about half of his armor, this should be pretty work out pretty well for me. They are down to just 3 fleets here. And we're still fairly evenly matched. 5th and 6th have both returned to Blorgsbane. Let's tail them to enter orbit. They are entering orbit. Let's just make sure it enters orbit. And we'll go ahead and start reinforcing them. It will take about 40,000 alloys to reinforce them. I did lose a Titan, I think, in 5th Fleet. Yeah, that's going to take a while to reinforce. Actually, I will wait till next month to start the reinforcement so I can go through it a little easier. The Citadel still has armor. They haven't gotten completely through the armor yet. The Eldrakes over here have taken another outpost. Alright, one of their fleets has just fled because my fleets have entered the system and my additional Eldrakes. They still have 2 fleets left, but we should win this. I'm also going to need to redo the defenses here. Eldrake still has armor. Alright, we just devastated them. Those Corvettes look kind of neat. Who are those? League of Brian States came in to help as well, to kick them out of the system. Alright, so we will take first and second and send them back to meet up with third and push this way. Yeah, we'll send them to Murrah to work on that system. Let's go to terminal egress and get all of our immature specimens. Only 3 have made it into the system so far, it appears. Actually, we might park them near the L gate. Let's put them in orbit of the L gate so they will catch things that come through. Where is my other one that is on its way? Yeah, we will have that one also just enter orbit of the L gate and have 4 of our Drakes basically parked at the L gate waiting for some enemy to come through. And why is the transport fleet following First Fleet? It should be in orbit of this habitat that needs to be taken, damn it. Sometimes the... Oh, we control that. That is why. We need to send them to the Murrah system so that they can take that habitat and drop the FTL inhibitor, and then we'll send them over to Toybus to take those. Yeah, we lost all 3 ion cannons and all 26 defense platforms on our Citadel. Other than that, we suffered no losses for our Eldrakes or for First or Second Fleet. We did some losses to them, but not as much as they did to us. They did have multiple Titans was the problem. We took out 2 Titans in that fleet and 1 in this other fleet. They only shot down 4 of our strike craft. We shot down 168 of theirs. It doesn't look like any of their strike craft got through. So we are still neutralizing their strike craft and their missiles, should they have any. Now we do have 2 debris to salvage here. We'll send the Copernicus into terminal egress to scavenge those projects and then have it return to Ponel to Blizzard. But yeah, that was a pretty devastating loss for us, them pushing into terminal egress. I took too long in cutting off their L gate access, though I do believe they actually came in through a different L gate. I'm not sure where, but it was probably one of the territories over here that they had claimed. This is showing 2 gate. Oh, it's Quantum Catapult. Has the same icon as a gateway. So I'm not sure where they jumped in from. They may have actually just gated up to here and used that L gate, the Gaping Maw system. So that is another one. I need to get Iskander's Pride and Gaping Maw out of their control. And I also need to push out them from these 2 systems to cut down on Ivzorak reinforcements, because they are building fleets here again.
Red alert. Spaceport under fire.
That would be these little void wings going through an outpost system. They may end up taking the outpost back. They'll suffer some losses doing it. My immature specimens are on their way back through, so they'll end up retaking that system anyway. And I do need to offload some consumer goods because I have capped on that. I couldn't find anybody interested in consumer goods or minerals, so I just sold a handful on the market. They're already getting their armor stripped pretty quickly. Manticore defenders are fully repaired. Let's go ahead and have them take Andrusa. Just to cut out their other star base. The Eldrakes have made it into the system. That was fast. Alright, League of Brian States we are connected with, and the Sonderthans.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
And I just realized I went past January. We completed Applied Superconductivity 14 for energy credits from jobs, and are now working on energy weapon attack speed with Flash Coolant 13. Time to swap out for the Mentat again. Yeah, they've only got one Corvette left, and we have an Eldrake in the system. We actually have two Eldrakes, but it's only showing one of them at a time. It doesn't really change the balance. It's always showing about half when I use the Eldrakes, because apparently we can't estimate their power too well. They are, there was some hull damage done with the disruptors, and that would be mainly to the station. 51 pulls of the lever netted me one minor artifact. Now, did we destroy them or did they flee? The destroyer fled, but we took out both Corvettes. And these are undamaged, the immature specimens. They're moving up to take that system, after which we'll head for Gaping Maw, so that we can cut off one of their L-gates. Matter of fact, when all four immature specimens make it to terminal egress, we might have them push through to take Iskander's Pride, and then come back and hold the L-gate. Just to cut out them being able to gate over here and easily use the L-gates. Fifth Fleet is now fully repaired. I did do some reinforcement of the fleet, not all at once. The Titan wasn't able to be queued up. I didn't have enough materials to do everything. That should be Sixth Fleet. Yes, they're fully repaired. We are about a year away from this sanction going through. Now, my diplomatic weight has dropped significantly because of my losses. I'm hoping to have my majority of my fleet built back up by next year. We'll see how that goes.
The special project has concluded.
Alright, we were able to tame that Eldrake. So we will have it meet up with the others there. And as soon as they're all in position, those three will go for Gaping Maw. I think we'll have this science ship follow this Eldrake. Because after we control Gaping Maw, we might push on and take out that system before we come back down here to control, try and get this last Eldrake. There are a significant amount of fleets in here helping us take out this habitat, I believe. No, they're around the science nexus. Or no, they're just traveling through the system, headed toward this planet. Manticore Defenders is finally taking on their last starbase. And several of my reinforcements are now in transit.
Our forces are making planetfall. Knowledge is the key to the universe.
So we're finally making planetfall on this planet. After which we'll probably take over the last one in the system. We gained a favor with the League of Phemisto. 4th Fleet is fully repaired. We've completed Transgenic Crops 10 for food from jobs and are now working on Administrative Efficiency 10 for more monthly unity. Actually, I just noticed there was debris here. So yeah, we'll just scavenge those projects first. Actually, let me see how well one immature specimen does here. So let's take that starbase and then return to orbit the L-gate here. We have enough influence for another habitat. I did lose. Now, if I'd had him on defensive, he would have abandoned the project and refunded all of the resources. But I wanted to try and push to complete, which was my mistake. He didn't make it before they blew him up. But since we're within a year of this completing, I need to bank influence for that. So I'm going to hold off on another habitat until then. I think the immature specimens can take an outpost by themselves. I'm just curious how well they're going to handle the Citadel.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
We got 68 alloys in the Mura system. There should only be one left to survey here. Awoken has declared Garanshu their rival. There's a hostile fleet. Ah. Yes, there's the Zakplot vestige. They have returned. We do control this starbase, however, and it has much higher fleet power than them. So I believe this starbase is going to push them out. We also do have debris there. Manticore Defender took some losses, took out the transport ships, and managed to take the Citadel. So let's move them back to Tau Ceti. And let's go ahead and take another science ship away from somewhere. Let's take the one from Plessis, yes, the Aldrin, and have it come get the debris over here in Zakplot vestige space. We'll have to switch it to passive. Because I'm pretty sure that fleet is not going to be there by the time they get there, and I want them to route most efficiently. Our Eldrake took another Citadel. No, it fled from the Citadel. Okay. So, a Sol Eldrake, that was actually a Citadel. Sol Eldrake could not handle it. It ended up fleeing. So we are going to have to try coming back with multiples to take Iskander's Pride. Alright, the gateway in the caravan system, the site is ready. So we can go ahead and start upgrading it. Our Tau Ceti station took out the remaining battle cruiser in the Fallen Empire fleet here. Now we can go back to that science ship that was en route there and change him back to evasive. We have a new proposal. Moderate administrative sanctions. Fire Tribes of Kel want this. Stronger measures are needed to ensure compliance with galactic law. I do support this. And that makes it the next one after this one.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
So we have taken Opaki Roost. That leaves one more area in here that needs to be taken. I only got 12 pulls of the lever this time and nothing. I was actually pretty low in energy credits already. Alright, these 3 immature specimens should now be in the same area. We're going to see how well 3 handle a citadel. And this one I do need to assign to the Kunlun. Actually, no. We will assign all 3 of these to terminal egress. Matter of fact, I think we're going to assign all of our Eldrakes to terminal egress now. We'll have to wait till this one gets out of nebulous space in about 20 days to assign it.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
Alright, we got a chunk of alloys, motes, gases, and rare crystals. 6,500 alloys from the first debris in terminal egress.
Our forces are making planetfall.
There is significant resistance here on Ukal's nest, but I think we will handle it. The other fleets are still in this system. As soon as we take that one, they can move on. Alright, this immature specimen is back. We will set it to terminal egress and send it to guard the L gate as well. Yeah, we just hit their shields with Dragon's Breath and Wing Skewer, and their lasers are already doing damage to our armor.
Interstellar debris
We're working on their
analyzed.
armor now. 43 alloys in the Mura system.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
50 alloys in the Lacera system. That was the one just south of here, I think. Yeah, right there. Now this guy has no orders currently. We will send him to follow to this system. Oh, he's going to come through the L gate? We've just about taken it. 3 of them can take it, but it does some damage to their armor and to their hull. Very little to their hull, but a little bit. So we're going to have them enter through the L gate. And as soon as they get over here, they're going to park right here to repair. And these other 3, we'll go ahead and have them push through and take the other L gate. Iskander's Pride. We'll have them push through and then return back here to orbit this L gate again while they heal up. And this third one that is currently moving, I think we're actually going to have it push through here to get to this last dragon, so that our science ship can go be working on that. Yeah, overall they only did 238 to our hull. They did about 10,000 to our armor. So they did a significant amount. We actually do have a form of point defense. and shot down the only 2 missiles they shot at us. Manticore defenders are fully repaired. These Eldrakes are coming through. They've almost got it already. Now it appears one of them got pretty damn wounded. We did lose one. We lost an Eldrake. There were fleets here at Iskander's Pride. We lost one Eldrake. The other 2 are still fighting the Void Wings. The Void Wings came in from behind us. We may lose the other 2 because of that, but we did take the station. That should shut out control of the gateway, so there should be no further reinforcements. Since there is a gateway there, I do have some fleets that are not doing anything. 3rd and 4th. They can head over here now to intercept this fleet and try and save my Eldrakes. Yeah, I didn't even think that they might be using the gateway to defend their L-gates. But yeah, we did lose one Eldrake. We're probably going to lose a second one, which is unfortunate. Our friendly fleet seem to be sweeping around to take care of their bases here. 39 pulls of the lever netted me nothing. Now let's see if our ships get here before our Eldrake is lost. Nope, we lost that Eldrake. We're probably going to lose this one as well. So the Eldrakes did not, well, they were already damaged, but they did not stand up well to the Alpha Strike from a fleet of similar power. Of course, they'd already used their Alpha Strike taking out the Starbase. Is our fleet going to arrive before they retake the Citadel? Yep, they got both of our Eldrakes. So we lost 3 Eldrakes taking this. They got the Citadel back. We no longer have access to the gateway. So 3rd and 4th aren't going to be able to move through there. Where is 3rd and 4th? How are they routing? They're coming through the L gate. Now they will definitely be able to take Iskander's Pride and kick out this fleet. But yes, unfortunately our Eldrakes, we lost 3 Eldrakes. Of course, we ended up gaining 3. So basically that was just to test to see how effective the Eldrakes were. They're not as effective as I had hoped. They didn't really do any damage to this fleet that I saw, because they were already wounded from taking the Citadel. We're about to come through that L gate and mess you up.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
This one is a little wounded still, but he's working on outposts, so it shouldn't be too bad. We get the other one out of terminal egress, got another 7,000 alloys, a chunk of motes, exotic crystals, and our exotic gases and rare crystals. Eldrake took that with no damage, so it's slowly going to regenerate its armor while it's knocking out outposts. They just went through the L gate and intercepted our fleets before they came in, I think. Where is 3rd and 4th now? Oh, they're still in Gaping Maw. They haven't even made it here yet. They've got 4 more days before they show up here. Now we will see how well... Well, these are wounded. This could be the end of our Eldrakes. There are only 3 here. And they are over here, right where this fleet is at close range. They've already taken some damage. Yeah, these guys have phase disruptors. We did a little bit of damage already. But yeah, this does not look like it's going to be work out well. The science ship is attempting to evade them in terminal egress. That was fast. 1 Eldrake fled. It took out 2 corvettes before it fled. Fourth Fleet and Third Fleet have made it through, so this battle is going to go a little differently now. And of course the Copernicus is running straight into combat to evade them. That's not good. Another Eldrake fled the combat, took out a destroyer, corvette, and a cruiser before it left. I'm not able to mouse over that too well. It's showing that there is, yeah, 2 of our immature specimens fled.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
Alright, the science ship should no longer be trying to flee. Where did he go? We lost 1 destroyer. The Eldrake survived. We took out 4 of their corvettes, 2 cruisers, and 3 battleships before they ended up fleeing. Where did my science ship run off to? The Copernicus. Alright, come back in here. Scavenge that project. 3rd and 4th are going to push through to retake this system, Elgate system again, and repair at that station. And we can go ahead and reinforce them probably. Third Fleet, Fourth Fleet. Fourth Fleet gained 2 levels. The one in the Tau Ceti gave us about 400 alloys and 2 dark matter. That was one of the debris from the Fallen Empire. Actually, now that this guy is available in the trade wind, I think we will take the Copernicus back to where it belongs. Now, if I can remember where I moved them from, I believe it was Plessis. No, that was the Aldrin. It was Panel. Yeah, we will go back to Blizzard and send the trade wind to research this debris. Why have 3rd and 4th Fleet not engaged yet? They should have popped out. Oh, it just instantly took it. Okay, that's the reason I didn't get any sort of message. So we've cut off their access to Elgates.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
The last one in the Mura system gave me 10 alloys. That was probably some troop transports. And our Eldrake has just engaged another outpost just as I reached my time for maintenance. There's only one left to engage before we are in the system with the other Eldrake to replace the one we lost, or one of the ones we've lost. And I've already routed the science ship, Asimov, to head to that system. 13 pulls of the lever have netted me another minor artifact, just 13 to go. We've got a little, about 2 years to try and get it to be on target with what my estimate was. Fourth fleet is fully repaired.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
The Urzo are now building a science nexus. And we just took over Yukoi's nest. They've got a significant transport fleet, I think. Actually, no, they've got a small transport fleet. We should probably send our fleet to help them push through. Oh wait, we've got incoming. Void Wings are incoming through the area here. So let's take first and second fleet and move to intercept them. And we will send our transport fleet back to Tau Cygni, I think. After that, we'll head back to Patragor and completely occupy that system. The Kunlun isn't really bombarding. I wonder why. Oh, because we occupied the planet. Never mind. Yeah, it's fully occupied by us. So we will send the Kunlun to Tau Cygni to start bombarding this one. And that's going to be a pretty easy fight for my Drake, I think. So let us keep an eye over here on the Mura system, where they have incoming. Yeah, no damage there. That's already fighting a Juggernaut by the Hazar. So let's take first and second. First and second, not the transport fleet. And send them to join the battle. This should be fairly quick. There are 2 Juggernauts here. One from the Fire Tribes as well. Luam 4 habitat is complete. The one near Dis. The Mayflower 2 will colonize that planet. Let's see, what do we want to call this one? This one is going to be for a rare crystal. Let's call it Gehenna. I'm seeing some shots or fighters from another system. Sometimes you get that graphic glitch. Now we're also going to need volatile motes because we're running low on them. So our next habitat is going to be that one. Yeah, I bet no matter which system I go into, I will see them. Let's just switch to another system and see. Yep. It's one of the little glitches you can get. That's where they belong right there. Boy, all those ships just got destroyed really fast.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
The debris in terminal egress gave us another 2,000 alloys, bunch of dark matter, exotic gases, and rare crystals. And it looks as if my science ship, the Tradewind, is going to be coming in here to scavenge the debris in Mura.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
Okay, we found that other, got into the system with the other Eldrake. We got in ahead of the Drake, though. I don't want to get near the system just yet. Let's hold back until the other Eldrake gets here, and then we will research the project. We've finished scavenging debris in Tau Ceti and got nothing out of it. Alright, back to the Tradewind. Where's the Tradewind? After you get that one, get that one. Alright, the Admiral for First Fleet has leveled up, and the Admiral for Second Fleet. We did take some losses, a destroyer and a corvette. Other than that, we wiped out a significant number of their ships. They had tachyon lances. Yeah, they tore down shields pretty easily. Our allies probably suffered some casualties in that. So we will have first and second return here to repair and reinforce First Fleet. Or Second Fleet. They kind of abandoned retaking these systems back to move the battle to elsewhere. They're pretty much holding Commonwealth of Man space pretty well. They have a lot of fleets down here that could probably move up this way and rejoin the battle. Now, they do have quite a foothold over here. They did get pushed out of Brienne space a little bit, but they have quite a foothold in the Tazekians. As for the Garanshu, again, they're slowly making progress now. They did push in over here, and they still have a fleet's pretty much sitting here doing nothing. They must be repairing. They did bring a little bit of fleet power over here. The League of Brienne States did. So with us bombarding this world, they should end up taking it for us. Oh, they did finally bring a 2K fleet over here, so they should end up taking that world and then probably pushing on to take that one.
Our forces are making planetfall.
This is going to be a bit of an ugly fight. I believe we have them outmatched. Yeah, we have triple their strength. But yeah, this will be a little bit of an ugly fight. Our Eldrake has finally moved in to take that station. I'll wait until he actually takes it before I give the order to research the project. Well, he's got enough progress so I can start headed that way. There we go. And I think we will just leave this Eldrake here to kind of protect our science ship. Took no damage. It needs to regenerate a little more, though. And then, or we could actually have it take that station first, and then return back over here. And then maybe pop over here and start taking some of these systems. Once third and fourth are fully repaired, since the League of Brienne States has pushed over this way, we could start pushing up this way just to cut them off completely, and then eventually make it over there and almost fully occupy the Ivzorak. Second fleet is fully repaired. We've gained a favor with the Urzo. And we're about 16 days away from this one. We need about 10,000. I can call in the favors, so in about 15 days, I should be able to... let's sort that by diplomatic weight. Yeah, I can call in for 220. I can call in enough favors to give me 176,000, which is more than I actually need. So I could actually drop some of these favors. Yeah, just calling in those favors. Actually, I could... Yeah, that should be enough. 110. Actually, 104 will be enough, I believe. Yeah. So right now we're looking at 120. But we'll check again in 15 days. 31 pulls netted me nothing. Yeah, we're still at 87. 13 more to go. Yeah, my income has dwindled now that my fleets are not docked at locations with crew quarters, is one of the reasons it slowed down. I still think we are going to end up making it within the next 2 years. Alright, 1 day left on repealing the minor military sanctions. Let's see, if I call in the favors... then it should fail tomorrow. And it did. Good. So it's going to be about 2 years before the next one comes up, which is increasing the sanctions from administrative to moderate. Comfort the Fallen, yeah, I can go with that one. Ensured sovereignty. I don't like the empire size increase, but I do like the logic behind it, saying that you can't integrate and that you can't prohibit them from expanding. I'm still going to abstain from it from now, but that is one I could be considered to support if it wasn't for the fact it is going to heavily increase how long it takes me to get the Ascension tiers. I'm not so worried about the tech now. I am so far ahead in tech that it's not even funny. Their technology level is 22, mine is 30. Yeah, both the Dezekians and the League of Brian states are about 8k behind me. And they would be the closest. When can I do another emergency measure? Oh, quite a while. I can veto in another year. So I could end up vetoing repeal administrative insight or repeal regulated growth. Actually, probably repeal minor administrative sanctions, or I'll check it when I can veto in about a year. Building a Better Tomorrow is one I might consider vetoing. But we can get back to doing habitats in about a month or two when we get up the influence we need. Nope, the League of Brian States put ensured sovereignty up here. It's the one I'm abstaining from. It's going to fail. Let's see, if I were to support it, it would pass. I can't abstain for another 4 months, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll go ahead and support it for now. Even though I don't like the empire size increase, I do like the logic behind it. We're taking on another outpost and then returning. You got dividends from the Manticores. They granted us a small military fleet. That's probably in the center of the galaxy again. Let's set its home base for Telesis Station, and then tell it to return home. Yep. So that's one we're going to probably end up scrapping when it comes back. It'll be about a year, a little over a year before it comes back anyway. The immature specimen took that outpost with no damage. Yes. Let's go ahead and have it push to Isaac and come back. I have enough influence to build another habitat. That one would be minerals. Yeah, this one is waiting on the quantum catapult. Yeah, we'll do the one in Lawam, because we're going to need more volatile motes soon. And go ahead and have Lawam churn out a colony ship for it.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
The debris in Mura gave us another 405 alloys, a little bit of exotic gases and dark matter. There's another debris in Mura as well, I believe. 6K fleet has moved into the system that has our one of the systems. Yeah, that they're going to end up taking that outpost. That's fine. We can sweep back through and retake things. Matter of fact, with a 6K fleet, I think I will chase them down with my dragon. Take him 2 months to catch up to them, but they're going to be slowed down every outpost that they run into. Now this dragon is a little wounded. No, it's fully repaired now. Yeah, okay, it is finally healed up.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
We got the debris in Andrusa and got nothing out of it. We lost the outpost in the Greco system. Looks like they are waiting right there for now. How much longer until my dragon gets to them? 1 month. 30 pulls netted me nothing. Now, when I was looking at the fleet manager to make sure I had all the ships reinforced, I did notice something here. When I mouse over these, I can see the military power. This is 106,000. This one is 100,000. This one is only 96,000, but they have the same number of digits. And this one is 113,000. So you just see like the first two numbers. But here on the immature specimens, you can actually see some numbers, even though they have a thing for military power as a skull. So I'm curious, this one is only 10,000, this small fleet. I'm curious if that is 12K or 120K that these immature specimens count as. I thought they were around 25, but it looks like they may be half of what I thought they were, which would explain why I've been having issues with them. I doubt they're 120, so I think that's probably about 12K. 12.5K is probably what these guys are. So if our fleet is 12K, it's about double their size, but there's also League of Brian States and others here. So this fight should go fairly badly for the Ivzorak. Two of their ships fled, two were destroyed. And we did not get the kills on either of them. We just damaged their armor, basically. I mean, no, we did do some hull damage. They damaged our armor, because we do not have shields. So we'll send this immature specimen back to be sweeping around here.
Research concluded.
We have completed Fortify Core Layers 7 for defense platform hull points. and are now working on miniaturized pre-igniters for more explosive weapon attack speed, and we need Vash back in here. We've lost quite a bit of our troops here. Yeah, because that one didn't go to disengaged. It was immediately destroyed. One did disengage, but...
Interstellar debris analyzed.
We got 2,000 alloys and 7 exotic gases from the last one in Mura. Now the trade wind is idle. I think for now we will send it back to Earth.
The special project has concluded.
We tamed the other Eldrake finally. And he gained expertise biology from doing that. That makes him a 20% on biology. Actually, no, 25%. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'm still better with her. Yeah, she's also 25 on biology. No, she's 30 on biology. But that was the last Eldrake over here. So we can send this science vessel back to Earth for now until we get more debris to worry about. Actually, I have a new research station. That is right. We have a research station in Yilon. We will actually send this one to assist at New Birmingham, because this is a research station. Now that new Eldrake, we'll assign it to terminal egress. Our 3 that fled are back, and we will send them all to orbit the L-gate. First and Second Fleet are repaired again, and it looks like our allies are sweeping through that area, so we could probably push this way to get down here and start help retaking that. Or actually a better idea right now would be to control this area. So yeah, let's go to send them to Roxalana. And we will send 3rd and 4th to Ain to push them out of here. And as soon as the Alvathari and all come down and take Epsilon Iridani, after we get Roxalana, we can control that sector as well. They would just have a small outpost over this way. And 2 colonies down this way. And it looks like they have gone back to trying to retake. The fighting has been kind of brutal. They've lost 1,300 ships. We have only lost 337. They've lost 119 armies. We have only lost 27.
A new world has been colonized.
Alright, Gehenna is going to be a rare crystal, I believe. Yeah, rare crystal refinery. But we are going to start as a leisure station, so we can get a leisure district and a housing district up and running, or habitation district. 19 pulls netted me 1 more minor artifact, just 12 to go. An interesting side note, I think I've only seen them in certain quantities. I've gotten 1 from a single pull before, 3 and 5. I don't recall ever seeing 2 from a pull or 4 from a pull. But we've got about 1.5 years to be on par with my estimate. And I went ahead and moved the Kunlun towards...
Interstellar debris analyzed.
Now, I think these that are giving me nothing were like single transport ships that they sent into orbit and got blown up by the outpost or citadel. And I think these little debris fields are giving me nothing. So I think I'm actually going to cancel, since I've got 3 left, I'm going to cancel surveying these, since they're giving me nothing when I survey them, and tell my science ship to go back to assisting research on Altinia. Cancel your current orders and go there. And we're just going to contact the scrappers so we can get something out of these. And they've gotten their last reserve taken care of. Now it's going pretty quickly now that we have them outnumbered. Okay, the Ivzorak are trying to evade our fleets. They're going to the hyper relay. But we're about to take their citadel. It's pretty wounded already anyway. This should be fairly quick. Our Alpha Strike just about took it out. We did engage their fleets before they could leave. We'll probably suffer some losses here, but we definitely have them outmatched. Yeah, I think we lost a ship already. They're already damaging our hull directly. We have connected to the United Ubrik Pact and the Ubrik regime. Oh, we have obliterated multiple ships with that. Yeah, we took out 5 corvettes and 4 battleships. They did take out a significant amount of our ships. We're going to enter orbit of that station to repair and send probably the trade wind. No, the Aldrin's still en route. We'll send the no, not the Aldrin, the Asimov. Asimov is still en route. No, it's going to assist research at our new research facility. So yeah, we'll send the trade wind over here to get this debris. Yeah, at this point it's just going to be mugging the ones that have disengaged soon. Ubrik regime built another gateway, and we have started reclaiming some of these outposts. Yeah, we got 140 salvage from 3 of the ones we gave to them, which was better than us getting nothing doing it ourselves.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
Alright, that was Kokok's nest. Now we should fully control that system. They've got a significant fleet here, I believe. Well, they've got 1K left. Ours was how much? 1K as well. Yeah, we'll go join them. Now let's see if that fight actually showed up. Kokok's nest. There it is. We lost 9 armies. They lost 28. So we did lose some of our armies. Looks like we have 1 warform. We lost a xenomorph at some point. And we probably lost a bunch of our mercenary armies and some of our assault. We have connected to the Awoken. Yeah, we're kicking out their last bit of Void Wings and trying to take this system away from them with 1st and 2nd Fleet. Actually, it looks like 2nd Fleet is there. Where is 1st? Oh, 1st was waiting on reinforcements. That is correct. So we will send 1st Fleet there to take that other system. 19 pulls netted me nothing. One thing I noticed is the Holy Gagassi Mandate has changed its name to the Union of Fedima, which was interesting. I wonder if they had an actual rebellion that switched what they are. Other stability seems good. No devastation on their planet. They've only got one world. I guess they just changed their name from the Holy Gagassi Mandate, and I missed it at some point. But I noticed that when I was going through looking to see who I could trade with. I did end up trading quite a bit away. Third Fleet is fully repaired. The Obha Allied Provinces gave us 17,000 energy credits for 5,000 consumer goods. Vasari Alliance gave us 58,000 energy credits for 11,000 minerals and 12,000 food. League of Femisto gave us 4,000 energy credits for 2,000 consumer goods. Urzo gave us 14,000 energy credits for 9,000 food. Alvathari gave us 14,000 energy credits for 7,000 minerals. Oh, 6th Fleet is moving in to take a system. Alright, we took that with no damage. It says 3 outposts. Ah yeah, 6th Fleet is running through, since they got repaired, I have them running through claiming all of the unclaimed areas of the Zac plot, since we are down to just one planet left pretty much. Tau Ceti has been taken. I moved away when they started invading it. Now we are bombarding their last world. It does have a small amount of armies. All it's going to take is them to send one troop transport fleet this way, and they should be able to take it. So I've just decided to have 6th Fleet do some cleanup and make sure everything's occupied. We lost a destroyer and a corvette. We did take out a battleship here, and of course conquered the Citadel. Let us move 2nd Fleet in orbit of the station to repair, and go ahead and tell them to reinforce. 4th Fleet is fully repaired. It does need to reinforce as well. 1 fleet needs a reinforcement. Which one? 3rd. Yeah, 3rd apparently needed quite a bit of reinforcement. Where is 3rd? Ah yes, 3rd was here in Ain. We had just taken that battle. Yeah, we did suffer quite a bit of casualties there. 3rd is fully repaired, so we'll put them in orbit of Harrow's Roost. 4th looks like it's about to be fully repaired as well. I think I'd just gotten the pop-up for it, honestly. Yep. So we'll have 4th also go in orbit of Ains Roost to do some bombardment. Oh, our energy credits just got full. 32,000 energy credits for 8,000 consumer goods. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that my trades would have exceeded my limit. Let's go ahead and buy a whole bunch of caravan coins ahead of time, just in case I have more trades out. I should have actually done that when I got the last deal. I wasn't paying attention to the fact my cap was only 230,000. Tilanesti completed their mega art installation. Debris in Roxalana. That's probably like a transport or something. We didn't have a huge fleet battle there. So I think I will have the scrappers deal with that, possibly. It depends. I might send... Hopefully it won't give me just nothing. But yeah, he's just about done with this one. I'll go ahead and send him to scavenge that.
Our forces are making planetfall.
Alright, Kamak's Perch. We just landed there. We should be taking that one fairly quickly. They're bombarding... They were bombarding something. They've got their own transport fleet here, but it's gotten kind of low. But yeah, I sent my fleet over here to help out in taking the systems. Yeah, 6th Fleet took that with no damage.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
This one gave us 2,400 alloys, and a good portion of dark matter and exotic gases, and a few rare crystals. Tezekian Hive completed the Strategic Coordination Center. That fight is over. 1st Fleet is moving in to deal with Epsilon Eridani.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
Alright, so we've got that one. Kamak's Perch. Let's see if we had any losses. It's not showing up. Yeah, Kolok's Nest is the last one it's showing that we participated in. Or Uqual's Nest, where we lost 4 armies. Give it a few days and check it again. Nope, still not showing up. Sometimes they don't always seem to appear. Our spy master, watching over the Ivzorak regime, reports the surprise, successful acquisition of a new asset. A sympathetic contact who will be of service to our operation as and when we need them. All efforts have been taken to ensure that this new contact is genuine. Protocols have been established which seek to minimize the risk of potential double agents, for example. That reminds me. Let's go to our spy networks. Let's start with the Garanju. Sleeper cells will expire in about 6 years. I had decided, especially because of how stretched my influence can be at times, I had decided that it is really not worth it doing like the sabotage starbase or armed privateers or even the smear campaigns. Maybe extort favors might be worth it, but the smear campaigns and the diplomatic incidents, those in my opinion at the state of this game are a waste of influence for me. They take at least a year or so to fully implement. And for example, like sabotaging the Starbase facility, That's 125 influence. It'd take a couple of years before it sabotages. I can sweep a starbase fairly easily with my fleets. This is something that would be more useful early game and with a empire that gets a discount instead of a penalty to the influence cost of espionage operations. Same thing for armed privateers. That's when you're up against a more powerful adversary and you want to kind of keep them busy and distracted. That is useful against them. The extort favors, I could see that being useful here to get favors from my people who are hostile with me to help me with the galactic community. The smear campaign, reducing relations, or the spark diplomatic incident, not really worth it for me at this point because I have a huge alliance and I'm not really interested in interrupting relations between the other people. I'm not seeking to destroy other empires too much. I would like to bring most of them into the fold. With a different play style, these might be a little bit useful to keep sparking things so that I could conquer. Gather information, I don't really need now that I have the sensor array. The prepare sleeper cells and acquire assets are about the only two I will be using. Acquire assets just to get my overall infiltration cap up to 100 at some point. Steal technology is useful when you are behind on technology. Since I am ahead on technology, this would give me a small amount of stored research. It's not really worth the influence for me at this point. So the only two I'm really going to be using are prepare sleeper cells and acquire assets. Speaking of which, I could probably acquire an asset here, but I think I would be better off building another habitat first and then acquiring assets in a couple months. Going to the others, Commonwealth of Man, that sleeper cell will expire 2 years after the other, so I've got time on it. And to the Ivzorak, these will expire in between those two. So I'll be having to renew sleeper cells in 2420, 2421, and 2422. Now our new asset, I think it's the academic. Discredited scholar. No, we picked up the academic elsewhere. It has to be the no. Yeah, it has to be that academic who is only really useful for stealing technology, or I could use him to extort favors from the Ivzorak. Yeah. So the veteran and the academic could be used to extort favors, and the economist would be useful for my prepare sleeper cells and acquire assets. And now I need 3 more assets to cap out my overall maximum infiltration level. 173 pulls of the lever netted me 2 minor artifacts, separate pulls. 10 to go, and a year to do it. Immature specimen took another outpost. We're sweeping through this area. Second fleet is fully repaired. I'll actually have it start bombarding a section they're not. We got 10,000 energy credits for 5,000 minerals from the Sondrathan.
Our forces are making planetfall.
This should be a fairly quick combat here at Tasu Brood. Alright, we did suffer some losses, I believe. Yeah, a couple of destroyers and 4 corvettes. We took out 3 defense platforms. That's probably what did the damage to us. And those would be what created the debris as well. Speaking of debris, where is the trade wind? Alright, next you are coming here to scavenge that project.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
So we took over Tassu's brood. There are no planets left in this system that need to be captured. So we will move our fleet to Lastus, where it's only partially occupied. And our dragon is taking yet another outpost. After we take this one, I think we will have him move to there. Awoken is now rivaled to the Ivzorak. Let's actually change it to where they're just going straight to actually, screw that. We will send them to sweep this section. Actually, I just noticed we hadn't taken this system yet. So our transports will redirect here first, and then from there go to Lastus. Well, Lastus has troop transports at it. It's probably going to... Actually, those are tiny troops. Those are just a bunch of scattered transports. 39 pulls netted me another minor artifact. 9 more to go.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
We've completed Flash Coolant 13 for energy weapon attack speed and are now working on Flash Coolant 14. We've completed Administrative Efficiency 10 for more monthly unity and are now working on Administrative Efficiency 11. We traded 2,000 minerals for 2,000 energy credits to the Visari. We got 68 alloys out of Roxalana, where we blew up the defense platforms. And 6th Fleet is taking on another starbase of the Zakplot Vestige. That's the last one, as a matter of fact. We did it with no damage. 6th Fleet should now be heading over to help bombard the last planet that they control. We are no longer connected to the United Ubric Pact, the League of Brian States, the Sondrathan, or the Uberic. So that means there's been another interruption along the path here. Yes, they have been sweeping through Tezekian Hive space. They are on a warpath through the Tezekian Hive. Now we've just about got the Ivzorak locked down. Once we do, they have also been doing a good job of locking down the Commonwealth of Man space, but once we get the Ivzorak locked down, we'll probably retake these and then push, or actually we can go multiple directions. We'll probably go for the United Uberic Pact, because that will help with the Uberic regime and kind of solidify the upper area here. And then we can push down through the Till and Esti and help with the Commonwealth of Man and the citizen state of Azuk, as well as pushing some assistance to the Tezekians.
Our forces are making planetfall.
This should be... Well, this is going to be a little bit of a struggle, actually. Our Cybrex Warform is starting out in the fight, so that should do some damage fairly quickly. But yeah, they have quite a few reserves here. Vengralian Trium has shown back up. They want the Debobble collection for a science ship. Not interested. Tilonesti are now rival to the Commonwealth of Man, which is interesting considering the Commonwealth of Man is in a diplomatic pact with their overlord, the Ivzorak. Citizen state of Vizuk have started building a science nexus. Now that Cybrex warform is tearing them up. And my xenomorph has joined in as well. Looks like I'm about to lose one of my robotic assault armies. 28 pulls of the lever netted me nothing, and I started acquiring another asset for the Guran shoe. Racket has shown back up. They'll give us 2,000 alloys for rare crystals. Not interested, move along. Immature specimen is taking out another outpost. Got over there pretty quickly. Yep, we lost a robotic assault army. It didn't withdraw, it was just destroyed. We got 3,000 energy credits for 2,000 minerals from the Polysimus. We took an outpost with no damage. Got 8,000 energy credits for 3,000 food from the Visari. Got 12,000 energy credits for 5,000 food from the Obha allied provinces.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
Got 127 alloys from one of our debris. Visari Alliance has started building a science nexus. Eldrake took another outpost.
Research concluded.
And we should easily finish that fight. There's just one guy who's withdrawn now. We have completed Miniaturized Pre-Igniters 3 for explosive weapon attack speed. Boy, we're way behind on the explosive weapon stuff. And are now working on Thermodynamic Yield Control 5 for explosive weapon damage.
War report. Enemy planet secured.
Our general gained Charismatic, which boosts our army morale. And we took the Eerie up here. There's still more systems here to capture, so I'll just leave my fleet there for now.
Our forces are making planetfall.
Now we immediately landed on another one, Void Brood. This will be another tough fight, it appears. But we do have them outnumbered. Now some of our forces were wounded, unfortunately. 80 pulls of the lever netted me no minor artifacts. We're still stuck at 9. Looks like we're not going to make my estimate of by 2415. It'll be a little after. Eldrakes are still taking systems. We got 7,000 energy credits for 3,000 minerals and 1,000 food from the Visari. No damage to our Eldrake. We got 36,000 energy credits for 17,000 minerals from the Alvathari. Scientist Franz of Gold has gained expertise in computing. That gives him a 25 for computing. I don't believe there's any more computing left. Plus, this guy is also he's getting 30 for computing anyway.
Interstellar debris analyzed.
We got almost 200 alloys and a dark matter for that debris. Now the trade wind is idle. While there's no more combat, we can send it back to Earth. It gets back over here fairly quickly. Yeah, it only takes a month to send it back to Earth. Our Cybrex Warform has joined the battle, so this should go a little bit faster. League of Brian States built a gateway. And it has been another 5 years. So we'll call this an episode. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.